Hey guys, it is me, Tanya, founder of the TNG Designs Group Limited. I hope you're all keeping well. Now, in today's video, we're going to be talking about what is a brand ambassador. And there are a few people out here, obviously, as we know, using them. I'm going to share with you in this video what one is, number one, the mistakes that some people make, and two, or even three, there we go. I want to make sure that you're actually thinking about the right things when you do pick your own brand ambassador, if that's something that you actually really need or is congruent to you and your brand. So I'm going to talk about that. But before I do, I would like you to literally go ahead and subscribe to this channel because, folks, I'm seeing all the views, which is absolutely brilliant. And I truly love and thank you for your support. However, what I would like you to do now is to make sure you go ahead and subscribe to this channel, because the more and more subscribers that I have means that the more and more content that I can keep pushing out to make sure I serve you guys in the best possible kind of a way. But more importantly, I want to make sure that my messages keep getting out to even more people as possible. So, folks, your support is always loved and truly appreciated. So please keep doing so. Without further ado, folks, let's get stuck into this video. So, as I said to you before, we're going to be talking about what is a brand ambassador. Equally, what is it, what it can do for your brand, who are they, and why they're even important, if they are important for you and your brand, and if they're even needed for you and your brand. And equally, we're going to be covering a couple of mistakes that people make, typically when they do choose brand ambassadors. And there's reasons why they won't work, and I'll cover that shortly. However, let's get straight into the idea of what is a brand ambassador to begin with. A brand ambassador is literally somebody who literally represents your brand, their brand reps. Okay, so if you're not around to be able to do so, this brand ambassador will literally vouch for you. This brand ambassador will either wear your brand if you're clothing merch, or if you're a merch brand, or maybe they'll use your specific product. Maybe they'll overly vouch for your maybe they'll even vouch for your service if they've consistently used it, and so forth. They are your brand ambassadors. Now, key things to make sure that with a brand ambassador, with this person who's standing up and talking for you, number one, you trust them. Number two, you know what they're about. And number three, they equally align with you. And that's something I'm going to touch base in just a minute. But I want to share with you now a couple of mistakes that a lot of people do when they do choose their brand ambassadors, right? Now, typically, if you're the type of brand who wants to encourage more followers, let's just use that as an example. And there's a reason why I'm using this in specific, because a lot of people do it, right? Especially with clothing brands, especially with product brands and so forth. However, I believe since the pandemic, a lot more beliefs around the idea of humanity, or the beliefs around the trueness or the authenticity of who the person is or who the brand is shining more and more and more. So the idea of getting away with a brand ambassador that doesn't necessarily align with your values, who it is that you are, is getting frowned upon a hell of a lot more, which is true, which it should be, right? Because it's not a true thing for you and your business, for you and your brand, and especially for your awareness. It can actually hinder your awareness. So a lot of mistakes that people will make when they do choose their brand ambassador, they will go only on the idea of what are their followers like. They will only go on the idea of, how popular they are, all that kind of stuff, and equally what they've seen them in, which is kind of technically a good thing. However, we need to do a little bit more deep diving, right? So to avoid those mistakes, it's almost like picking the pretty thing over the, not so obvious things, right? Just because it shines all the more brighter does not mean it's the right thing for you. So really think about that. What I want to make sure that you do think about, especially when it comes to the idea of your brand ambassador, right, is the idea of alignment. I said it to you a minute ago, and I'm going to touch base on it right now. Now, there's been many a video that I've shared with you guys with regards to the idea of your VPV, and especially your values. I will say it to them blue in the face. You should always lead with your values. When you're picking your colors, when you're picking your fonts, when you're picking all different assets, brand assets, I spoke about that not too long ago in my previous video. When you're picking specific things to represent you and your brand, you need to make sure that you touch base on your values, more importantly. then address the rest of your VPV, right? Because here's a difference. You not addressing it versus you addressing it means that you could potentially pick somebody or work with somebody that literally does not align with who it is that you are. They will go rogue. They will just do all the opposite as to what your brand is about, versus you actually elevating your brand, building on the awareness, building on the know, like, and trust factor as to who you are, and equally making those amazing connections and having a further reach to an audience that actually matches who it is that you are, is congruent to you and your brand. That's the difference, okay? So when you get to understand those aspects, especially what they are for yourself, it's super important, folks, to be able to just take the time, do your due diligence, to be able to understand who that brand, brand ambassador is. Because if you don't take the time out, well, then you know the results that you're not going to be getting. Let's just leave it there, right? You know that. So take the time, do your due diligence. Even more importantly, understand, do these people that you're actually reaching out to become a brand ambassador, do they actually align with you and your values? You know, are they going to go super, maybe they do have same belief as you, but maybe they're like overly enthusiastic about it, or maybe they're super extremists, you know? Is that something you're looking for? If it's not, well, then it's okay to say no. And again, going back to social media, if you're on social media, whether it be on Facebook, on Instagram, whatever platform it is, you know, Threads, whatever the time of the platform is when you're watching this video, think about who are these people that are reaching out to you, and do your due diligence. I cannot stress to you enough, because it's super important to help to maintain the reputation of your brand. And think of it as if like you are almost franchising your business, franchising your brand, right? As a franchise, it's always a business owner's risk to be able to sell to somebody who has the same business beliefs, brand beliefs, values, beliefs, all that kind of stuff. It's a risk that you want to make sure that these people who are buying into you and buying into your brand are equally going to be going out there and sharing the love in the way that you'd expect to be shared, right? So really think about that, folks. If a brand ambassador is something that you think could really benefit you in your business, particularly if you have a lot of merch or product-based business, think about all those things that I've addressed, because they're super key for the reputation of you and your brand. If you're a service-based business, however, I would sometimes argue that I don't think you need one. However, think again, why? Ask yourself, in fact, not just think about it, ask yourself these questions. What's the true reason? What's the so what factor as to why you need this ambassador for your brand? What is the will it go make your boat go faster element as to what you need this brand ambassador for? You know, really make those questions clear to yourself, and equally the answers to those questions clear to yourself, to be able to understand whether a brand ambassador is even needed for you in your business. So think about that. And folks, I'm going to leave it there. And I really hope, as always, that this message really, really resonated with you. A brand ambassador, FYI, is not something that I know I need for my own business, because I am the reputation for my brand. However, the people that I work with, my partners, my business partners, or even the people that I collaborate with, my connections, those are the people who I always make sure that my values also align with, right? And whether it be a brand ambassador, collaborator, or those you are connected with, they should always align with your values. So folks, once again, I'm going to leave it there. I hope this video really resonated with you. As always, make sure that you go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel, because I truly do appreciate your love and support with regards to it. And without further ado, here it is. It's my gift from me to you. And I want to make sure that you go ahead and just get all the amazing juicy little nuggets that you can actually get from this specific guide. Now, when you click the link that's in the description box below, you'll be taken to a super cool page that'll tell you a little bit more about myself. But equally, once you fill in the details, you'll be able to download your own guide, your own personal experience and guide that will literally help you to understand your brand even more so. That will help you to gain clarity. That will help you to understand how you can make better connections with an audience that actually matches you and your business. So folks, go ahead and partake in that. Get what you need out of it. And yes, there is an amazing opportunity there as well for you to be had. But without further ado, folks, I'm going to leave it there, and I will see you on the other side.